Turning something that seems impossible into possibility is something that all humans have the ability to do that we have in life right now is once impossible. Whatever it is your unconscious is telling you, it's just a lie. It's not impossible. It is what it is, how you are in life. There's lots of places where it's really tough, but it doesn't mean what you want to achieve is impossible. Dear future self-made millionaire, if you think your goal you currently have is impossible, I know exactly how that feels. I remember thinking making $100,000 a year was just, I had no idea how to do that. And then, okay, how was I going to do $1 million a year? And then $1 million a month. And it just always seemed impossible. And then I was able to do it. And I didn't think it was possible to do things that I'd never achieved before, yet I consistently followed a process, and that process I'm going to explain to you today to turn what I thought was impossible into possibility. You know, I didn't finish high school, yet I've written a book that has had over 1 million people buy it. So turning something that seems impossible into possibility is something that all humans have the ability to do. In fact, many of the things that we take for granted that we have in life right now is once impossible. You know, many of the inventors of our current reality were told what they wanted to achieve could never happen. Many faced huge setbacks and opposition. You know, think about just 100 years ago. Consider what we have today would have felt absolutely impossible, you know? How absurd would it be to have the things that we have now back then? That just doesn't even make sense. And so, space travel or even flight, being able to get on a plane and get yourself across the other side of the world in hours, refrigeration, running hot water to our homes, the internet, or even Wi-Fi or video conferencing, electric cars or AI. It's crazy to think about what is now possible would have been impossible. In fact, we have access to more information now than the United States president would have had in the 90s. You know, all of us have so much more now, so much abundance. And so we literally think things are impossible, but most of the time we're wrong. And it's crazy to think about what you think is impossible for you or for humanity likely isn't. Many of the ways our unconscious tries to convince us that it's impossible is just wrong. It's just like, that is not right. In fact, that is not impossible. And I'm going to give you the system to achieve your impossible today. Because there's examples of nearly everything we once thought was impossible in history becoming possible. You know, they're creators who have overcome social injustice. Rosa Parks sat in front of the bus. Lincoln stopped slavery. Susan Anthony said women should vote. Gandhi stopped the British rule in India, and Mandela said apartheid should not rule. And all of those was how it was. Yet someone did this process I'll tell you about soon to overcome those social injustices. Then there's physical limits. Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile. Yet he was told, and it was told, that humans could not physically run a mile in under 4 minutes. Now high school kids do it. Usain Bolt and his amazing 9.58 second 100-meter dash. It's just incredible. We didn't think these things were possible. Then there are creators who, despite personal limitations, created what many of us would love to create. Like Helen Keller became a published author with several books and over 400 articles, despite being blind and deaf and suffering tremendously through World War II. Beethoven composed 5 of his best symphonies when he was deaf. Stephen Hawking was completely paralyzed, couldn't speak, yet he was married twice, had 3 children, and became one of the most respected physicists of all time. Ray Charles lost his sight at 7, started recording at 17, and eventually won 12 Grammy Awards. And so there are just so many examples of something that seems impossible. Impossible now, impossible for me, impossible in this way, impossible because of my upbringing, impossible because of my knowledge. Whatever it is your unconscious is telling you, it's just a lie. It's not impossible. It is what it is, how you are in life. You know, there's lots of places where it's really tough, but it doesn't mean what you want to achieve is impossible. It is likely that what you want to achieve isn't impossible at all. And so here's the system to take what you believe is impossible and turn it into reality. The first step is clarity. You must get super clear on exactly what your vision is, how you want it to be, with clarity, with precision. This is what I want. The second is commitment. You must be all in. And these are the 4 C's of creating. The second is commitment. You must commit. You must be all in. It can't be a wish, a dream. It must be a choice. The third is courage. As you go for something big, as you go for something you haven't achieved before, there's going to be naysayers in your head, and there's going to be naysayers in the world and around you. You must have courage. And to get that courage, you must first have an internal victory. We teach this in our Magnetic Mind program, which you can join if you want to. Our Magnetic Mind program shows you how to have the courage to let go of who you've been and step into who you're becoming, because it takes courage. And also, I didn't add this C in, but it needs community. You need to be around others who also are striving and believing. The last C is capability. See, when you have clarity and you're committed and then you have the courage to go all in, the capability shows up. Unfortunately, the capability to create something new doesn't show up until you've already have created it. See, because it's new, you haven't done it yet. But if you decide of how it's going to be, the capability to sit in front of that bus, to go on a hunger strike, to stand up for what you believe in, to figure out how to create electricity or space flight or flight in general, how you're going to be like these amazing creators who created music and art and poetry with physical limitations or became respected physicists. They have to be able to get the capability after. They don't have it before. It just shows up once you trust and believe and you go for it. And so I want you to go for your impossible today. If you want help, do reach out to us about our Magnetic Mind program and the Recode process. Having coaching is so crucial. Go for your impossible today. Like, subscribe, and share if you enjoyed this podcast. And I look forward to seeing you on one of the sessions. Bye for now.